440 horsepower at the crank, 384 at the wheels. MHD stage 2 tuned. That's the reality of this car. But at the car meets and in the comment sections, reality has checked out. B58 owners have become dangerously overconfident. You flash the map, you've got a pop and bang tune that genuinely sounds like you're in a war zone, and you think that you are completely untouchable. You think that because you've got a 600 horsepower dyno sheet tucked in the glove box that you're the king of the tarmac. Trust me, you aren't. I love this engine, it's an absolute masterpiece, but the way we're tuning them, it's rubbish, it's vanity. You're building paper tigers, cars that look terrifying on a screen, but fall to pieces whenever the sun comes out or a corner approaches. Today, the ego gets a much needed reality check. I'm going to show you why my low horsepower manual is actually faster than your monstrous overheating B58. And I'm going to do it by embarrassing some very expensive opinions. You see, here's the thing with crank horsepower. They're very much like wallpaper. Good to look at, but completely useless otherwise. Now, wheel horsepower is the money. That's what the car actually feels, and that is what moves you when it comes to being on track. My car reads 440 horsepower at the crank, but 384 horsepower at the wheels. And that's the figure that actually matters. In the UK, we measure crank horsepower, but in reality, it's wheel horsepower that is the main factor when it comes to cars. I'm going to let you guys into a little story. I once knew a bloke, we're going to call him for this video, Dyno Queen. Now, Dyno Queen's whole personality was built around crank horsepower figures. And yes, his car was fast. It would make 620 crank, no problem at all. But when it came to him being on track, he would spend more time wandering off on the corners and almost crashing because he hadn't actually matched all of that power to the car. He had completely missed out on brakes and tyres, some of the most crucial things on a high horsepower build. And unfortunately, his car was basically a paper hero. So rule 1, plan with your wheel horsepower and let everything else follow. Let's be clear about one more thing. The ZF boxes that these cars come with, in my case I've got the manual, but the ZF Auto, it's a cheat code. It could make a donkey feel like a racehorse. And credit where it's due, it's an amazing box, no argument there. But here's the kicker, it's also dishonest. It hides driver mistakes, it masks traction problems, and it makes people think that they're cleverer than they actually are. But manual driving, you feel everything. You feel the car, you feel the gearbox, you can feel the tyres. And the thing is, you get punished for bad setups. That's why this whole more power culture is actually worse for manual drivers. Now, I don't have a ZF Auto to talk to you guys about today, but an automatic box could slam down a lap time of 1 minute 20 and everybody claps. But a manual might do it in a 1 minute 21, 8 laps in a row. That's the difference, repeatability. Now, do you remember earlier I was talking about my mate, Dyno Queen? Now, he bought a ZF car, flashed it with XHP and thought that he was invincible. And he did actually come to a track day, did a few laps and the car looked great. But on lap 5, the arrogance melted. But the cheap brakes that he was running frizzled, the cheap budget tyres that he was also running on the car completely destroyed themselves, and that OP Auto box was kind of masking it all. And that Auto box had hidden the issues long enough for his ego to inflate. It's a sad reality that, so try to avoid it. Now here's the simple science. When you floor a car, intake temperatures rise. When the ECU sees that, it gets nervous and it does something called pulling timing. Now, when the engine sees these temperatures rise, it gets scared and it takes away your fun. And it's called the thermal wall. You'll see boost targets on the screen, and then you'll actually see your actual boost targets fall behind as your session goes on. Then you'll see the ECU pulling timing, taking timing out, and not just a little, a lot. And that horsepower drops, and it drops fast, and it drops enough that by lap 4, your peak numbers look nothing like they used to. And I've done this. I've run data logs on laps. Lap 1, really good. Lap 2, strong. Lap 3, nervous. Lap 4, apologetic. That's the thermal ceiling, basically kicking you in the butt. Now, don't get me wrong. The B58's internals, tough as a brick. They're mega strong. The problem is the stock cooling and the heat exchange kit. And that protection, it cuts torque, and torque is what gets you out of the corners. Now here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to let you guys in to a little summer secret when it comes to these incredibly good engines. And here is the summer secret right here. Not the wheels, the tyres. The Accelera 651 Sport Semi-Slicks. budget friendly, but also super grippy. Now I put these on and overnight the car was faster. Not faster on dyno times, but faster on track. Why? Grip. It's as simple as that. Grip. Now you can build that 600 horsepower car. That's easy to do and that's great. But when it comes to going on track with your standard budget or road tyres, that summer heat will kill them. They'll quickly glaze, they'll become greasy, and then you're skidding all over the place and maybe even crashing into a barrier. But semi-slick tyres, they don't lie. Given they have to be warmed up a little bit to actually get them to the best operating temperature, but they grip. That helps you stick on the corners better. Coming out of corners, you can be quicker. You can put that power down correctly. They can also give you the confidence to carry speed through that corner even better. And the crazy thing is, they can make that 384 wheel horsepower feel 30% angrier. I think you guys can maybe see the theme that this video is going. We're not hating on the 600 horsepower built car, we're just prioritizing the way that these cars are tuned. Now I'm all about having a fun day when it comes to being on track, and that's the whole point I've been building this car. In fact, we're on track with my manual M240i in less than 4 weeks time, so if you would like to see that, now would be a brilliant time to hit the subscribe button. But when it comes to pushing the car hard on track, you want it to come home in one piece. You want to go out for the day, have some fun, push it hard, drive it hard, but come back driving it and not on a flatbed trailer. That's my motto anyway. And when it comes to this B58, yes, it's 440 at the fly or 384 wheel, and that kind of horsepower doesn't really justify having semi-slicks. However, the 651 Sports are cheating, by the way. And here is the thing with this car. It's on that perfect fine line where it's not too much horsepower, but it's also got enough power to enjoy faster lap times. Now, given it's not a crazy 600 horsepower build, and given it's not stock power, it's on that fine line where the engine is happy, where heat and intake temperatures don't critically rise and then it pulls timing and we lose horsepower. It's on that fine line where it's set up perfectly where I think this car should be. Now, given I could whack a hybrid turbo on this thing, we could make 600 wheel if we wanted to tomorrow with the right mods. This engine, in my mind, is made to be tuned and it's an absolute weapon. But the way I've built this car, I've built it in a way to be consistent and also be reliable. And at the moment, it's on that fine line where everything that needed to be done has been done. And it's on that tuning level where it's not going to break the engine. It's at a happy level where it enjoys to be pushed. And believe it or not, that's actually how you beat high horsepower cars, because this car could run 8 laps consistently, whereas our friend Dyno Queen with the 600 horsepower could do 2-3 laps and be absolutely rapid, but then on those last ones, absolutely fall behind. Now, we've all heard the story of the tortoise and the hare. Dyno Queen's car, the 600 horsepower build, is the hare, an overconfident, arrogant driver. And we all know what happens in that story. Eventually, the tortoise wins, the slower car, but the more consistent and reliable one. Now, you probably want to know what the Goldilocks build actually is. Well, in truth, the Goldilocks build is doing your brakes, cooling, suspension mods, all of the important, crucial mods to get the car up to a really good standard and then chasing the power. I could build this thing to 800 horsepower tomorrow, but I wouldn't do it without any of the supporting mods to get it to actually put that power down and handle it well. Okay, so here's the challenge. Brake horsepower chasers, I want you to post your comments down below of your tyre choice and also your peak numbers. Manual drivers and also track guys, I want you to post your best tyre over turbo mods. I'll pick the dumbest flex, but also the smartest reply. The dumb flex comments, I'll roast them. The smart replies, I'll actually put it to practice, try it on track, show you guys, show the logs, film it all, and be completely transparent. Subscribe if you guys would rather see some more tests rather than opinions. And if you're here to brag about peak numbers and street tyres in July, go on then. But don't cry when your data logs show that your engine is scared and it starts to pull power back because of the heat. 6 gears, real driving. I'll see you guys in the comments. Bye for now.